Hey, what's going on, executives and leaders? Welcome to this week's edition of the Elevate Life weekly video think letter. This series is crafted for executives, professional athletes, military leaders, and any leader who are navigating high stakes transition. Moments where the stakes are high, the outcomes are uncertain possibly, and the pressures are intense. Whether you're leading a company through a merger, being traded to a new team maybe, or transitioning from military service to civilian life. This space is designed to help you manage your mindset in those moments of profound change. Today, we're learning from my insightful conversation with Sarah Michel, an architect of dynamic audience experiences with over 20 years of expertise. Sarah has revolutionized the meetings industry by reimagining how we connect, how we network, and how we learn in a professional setting. Her insights on risk-taking, collaboration, and designing meaningful interactions are valuable for leaders facing transitional challenges. We will explore 5 key takeaways from my interview with Sarah and unpack the what are the challenges, and the why the challenges exist behind her wisdom. And I will also share what might happen if you do not fix the problem. For the best experience, please watch my full interview with Sarah Michel. It's on the YouTube channel at John Register Live. Now, number 1, embracing risk. The key to viability. Why does this problem exist? During high-stakes transition, sticking with what's familiar is tempting. As Sarah shared, the mindset of if it's not broken, don't fix it, often leads to stagnation. Leaders may resist change because their fear of failure, especially when their current methods seem good enough. However, Sarah pointed out that post-pandemic environments have reshaped expectations, both in meetings and in leadership. I too have found this to be true. We explored this topic with Michael Dominguez earlier on in the series of the Elevate Life series that we have. You can also find his full interview on my leadership lessons at the Amputate to Elevate Excellence podcast, also at John Register Live. We spoke in depth about coasters in the organization. There is no place for coasters in 2025. We have to be innovative and adaptable. We have to embrace new technology to help us stay ahead of our competitors. So what are the challenges? The reluctance to take risk can prevent growth and sustainability. For leaders, playing it safe might maintain the status quo, but will ultimately erode relevance. In professional settings, this is especially true. Transition moments, whether personal or organizational, demand bold thinking. So what happens if you don't fix it? Sarah stressed that failing to experiment and innovate risks your viability as a leader or organization. High-stakes environments favor those willing to tinker, to adapt, and to evolve. As she put it, without risks, there are no rewards. There was risk when I began to run again on my artificial leg. I didn't want to go full out in a full-out sprint because I didn't trust my leg to hold me up. Or maybe it would buckle underneath me and I would fall again. I had to overcome this fear of falling in order to gain the reward that came at the end. And let me be clear, it was not the fear of falling. Falling with an artificial leg would be a new experience, and I would fall. And I would fall on many occasions. But the more I fell, the more I learned. The more I learned how not to fall. I learned what I did wrong so as not to fall the next time. Eventually, I was able to run on balance at full speed. Number 2, speakers versus facilitators need to shift their leadership paradigm. Why does the problem exist? Traditional talking heads are becoming obsolete. Sarah shared another outcome from the pandemic refined on how people engage with content and connection. If your leadership style mirrors the outdated stand and deliver approach, you may miss the opportunity to facilitate meaningful dialogue. People want to see you out in front, speaking from your knowledge base, not reading from a teleprompter, right? So what are the challenges? As a leader, you're not just a speaker. You're a learning facilitator. You are also the person who is out front. Whether addressing your team or shareholders, it's critical to create spaces for collaboration and contextual learning. I usually do it through storytelling. Sarah's advice to stop calling them speakers and start calling them facilitators challenges leaders to rethink their roles. I really prefer to be thought of as the facilitator of the brilliance that's already in the room. So this means I can deliver a keynote speech on one day and a fireside chat the next. I can be also a leader of a roundtable discussion and a host of a panel discussion. I have even been asked to do so as a CEO circle over breakfast. In these formats, I am using my knowledge base to raise the stakes and the quality of the event. And it is always in conjunction with the executive and their team who brought me in. So, what happens if you don't fix it? Failing to evolve in how you engage others leads to disconnection and diminishes influence. Leaders who don't prioritize peer-to-peer learning risk losing the trust and buy-in of their teams. Number 3, designing for meaningful connections. Networking is often treated as a checkbox item, and this creates the problem. Sarah emphasized that too many organizations rely on happenstance to foster connection. This same complacency can occur for leaders in team-building efforts or client relationships. So what are the challenges? Meaningful connections don't happen by accident. They're required, intentional. They're done by design. Leaders must create environments where authentic relationships can form. This involves more than just facilitating interactions. It's about making those interactions purposeful. For the Elevate Life executive experience, I'm going to share a specific tactic that John Levy, the author of You're Invited, uses to take over $100,000 in an event and create a deeper connection. What happens if you don't fix it? As Sarah stated, attendees or team members will disengage if they don't value or find value in their interactions. They might stay physically present, but will mentally check out, seeking connection elsewhere. For leaders, this could mean losing talented individuals or high clients, key clients. Number 4 is leveraging data for personalization. Why does the problem exist? Organizations often gather data without using it effectively. Leaders face a similar challenge, leveraging insights to create tailored, impactful experiences for their teams or for their stakeholders. Ask yourself, why are we gathering this data? What's the purpose? What's the function? What are the challenges? Well, Sarah described a simple but powerful method. Ask people what keeps them up at night. We spoke about this before. Though I like this question because it has some merit, we should also, as a partner, knowing the industry trends so well, that we already know what's keeping the executive up at night. And then now we can use their answer to validate our research and guide us to design interactions. So, for example, segmenting your audience based on shared challenges can lead to more focused, valuable conversation. What happens if you don't fix it? So ignoring the data that you have is a missed opportunity. Leaders who fail to personalize their approach risk alienating their teams, leaving critical issues unaddressed. And finally, number 5, collaboration across the supply chain. Why does this problem exist? The us versus them mentality between different stakeholders hinders progress. Whether it's departments with an organization or external vendors, collaboration is often seen as a burden rather than a necessity. So what are the challenges? Sarah's story about a client who hosted an all-hands supplier meeting highlights the power of collaboration. Bringing everyone to the table, from speakers to logistic teams, it creates alignment and shared purpose. So what happens if you don't fix it? Leaders who fail to foster collaboration risk inefficiency. They risk miscommunication and burnout. High-stakes transitions demand unity and a clear understanding of the bigger picture. So here are some closing thoughts. Sarah Michel's insights are a masterclass in navigating the complexities of change. Her call to embrace risks, prioritizing connection, and fostering collaboration aligns perfectly with the principles of high-stakes leadership. These takeaways are essential for staying relevant and impactful in today's fast-paced world. For our Elevate Life Premium members, stay tuned. In part number 2, we're going to dive deeper into the actionable strategies to implement these ideas and elevate your leadership game. To our weekly video letter members, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are ready to take your leadership journey to the next level, consider joining the Elevate Life Executive Experience Premium membership. Together, we will amplify your impact and navigate transitions with confidence. Until next week, keep elevating your life, and as leadership, Go forth, inspire your world. Bye for now.